Welcome back. Thailand's government has been under military rule since May 22nd. This after former Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra was removed from office on May 7th by Thailand's Constitutional Court. Demonstrations have continued, this time against military rule, and business confidence has plummeted. Now the current ruling body is exploring measures to jumpstart Thailand's economy. For more on this, Martin Lowe joins us live from Bangkok.
Yeah, the Thai military says it's got two key objectives. One is the imposition of security, and the second is to restart the ailing economy. Now, their first task on the economy is to get some money to rice farmers. Rice farmers across Thailand have been crippled by debt, and that's because they weren't paid by the previous government for their crop. That was because with an election pending, that government had very limited financial powers, and they weren't able to borrow money to top up their rice fund. The military council has sweeping powers and no such restrictions. It's gone to the banks. It's borrowed $1.5 billion, and it's already paid some 670,000 out of 800,000 rice farmers in trouble. So good news for them. But across the whole country, the curfew, which has been crippling the tourism industry, has now been relaxed in 1/3 of the country to try and restart tourism. And another key industry that's been suffering is auto manufacture.
Production has been cut by 40% at this Honda factory in central Thailand. It has the capacity to build 300,000 vehicles a year, but is seeing weak domestic demand. A military coup here followed months of political unrest and came on top of rising household debt and the end of a government subsidy to encourage car purchase. Uncertainty is making customers hold back. Honda in Thailand expects to miss a 2014 sales target of 160,000 vehicles and is delaying the startup of a second manufacturing plant.
It's quite typical now for Thai vehicle industries to see significant slowdown this year. So if you look over to other brands, whether it's Toyota, whether it's Mitsubishi, whether it's Nissan, they're suffering the same thing.
Thailand has production facilities for all Japanese car makers, as well as Ford and General Motors from the US and BMW and Mercedes from Germany. Overall, auto sales fell by more than 30% in April, while production was cut back by more than 25%.
Car production is important here. Thailand is one of the world's top 10 manufacturers. It's known as the Detroit of Asia. But this year, the slowdown is expected to see the sector shed up to 45,000 jobs and see output slump.
Analysts forecast production will fall by 16% to around 2.1 million vehicles, well short of the predicted 2.5 million, and a setback to its ambitions to be building 3 million cars a year by 2017. Car makers are hoping improving export sales will keep them going until the domestic market regains confidence.
Thailand's also suffering a huge downturn in overseas investment. In the first 5 months of this year, January to May, overseas investment was $10 billion, but that's down more than 40% on last year. The biggest single investor in Thailand is Japan. They invested some $2 billion, but that also was down some 50 to 55% on last year.
Martin, thank you. We're still calculating what's going to happen next. We'll keep an eye on this one.